This podcast is brought to you by Breakfast House.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, if you're drunk and you say I love you to like a girl, does it count?
No.
I mean, I told you I loved you, but I was like really horny.
All right, number 3. Patrick hates movies, but he
Doesn't
is
hate
going
movies.
to school for film.
Hello, and welcome to the Tables Podcast.
Could you eat your cookie and then do it?
I'm eating a cookie right now, and I hope you don't mind. Gerardo's also eating a
Whole
cookie. We're watching The Avengers with no sound while we're talking. So if we mention The Avengers, that's what it is. We're here with Jay, Pepper, and myself. La Gato. El Gato.
La Gato.
Hey man, I don't speak Spanish. We. Alright, while Raylan's in the room, okay, if you're drunk and you say I love you to like a girl, does it count?
No, because you're like drunk. And if she asks you about it, you say, I was drunk.
That's a technicality where you
Yeah,
can
that's
get
where
out
it
of
gets-
it. But
Well, so are you asking, do you really mean it? Do you think you
Yeah,
mean it?
like,
think
you must
mean
know.
it? Do you? No, that's never happened to me. I said it taking off the top of my ass, dude.
oh, if you say it, it just depends on what your intent is. Like, for instance, like I'm just gonna use myself as an example. If I love the girl and then I'm just really shy and I want to tell her, but I'm using the drunkenness as an excuse to tell her, then obviously I mean it. But if I just want to like have sex with her and I feel like telling her that while I'm drunk because it gives me the license to do whatever the fuck I want, then obviously you know you don't. So you're just using it to get laid.
I like that answer. That's probably the most honest answer we'd probably get out of that question.
How about this one? All right, wait. Does it count if you say I love you if you're like in the middle of really, really good sex? Like,
Does it count?
the best? Like you're just into it. It's like
but
super good.
who's it count to? Like, because the guy obviously knows it's clear that the guy knows if he does or not. But to the girl,
I know, but like it's just like it's not too specific. You can take it any way you want, any like kind of situation you want. Just what does that mean? Is it right?
Well,
Is it not
a lot
right?
of times, like when you're like
Is that something you break
when you're
up
like
over? Is it not? Is it serious? Is it not?
well,
serious?
when you're like peaking, when you're like just horniest, you feel like you love the person, and then you come and it completely goes away. You're like, oh, what was I thinking? You know, you get
I got that
level-headed.
feeling.
You get level-headed, and so like you can be with someone. I'm like, oh my god, I just want to love you. I want kids with you. I want everything. Like the most extreme because you're there, like you're right there, and then you're released of it, and then you get completely level-headed, and then you're like, I'm alright. I don't watch you no more. Like, which is
What if it's like your girlfriend or something?
huh?
What if it's like your girlfriend or something?
If it's your girlfriend, that for me that was like the meter. Like I could tell. Like after I finished that, I could tell I got level headed again. But I was like, you know what? I really care about this person. Like I could joke around now. Like
What if you like let it slip accidentally though, because you think you're in the moment and you haven't had that clear-headedness yet, but you're like, oh man, I kind of want to say it, and you do say it.
But you didn't really mean it. This would be the first time you say I love you.
Yeah.
What if you haven't ever said it to her before?
oh, then I would blame the just being like super
You
horny.
think she'd take that well?
Right?
You think she'd tell-
I blame it on the being super horny. Be like, I'd explain like look there. That's a really awkward conversation. But
Exactly.
You're like,
That's why
you
we're
would
talking
say
about
to
it.
the girl, you would tell if you had the balls and you.
The balls or
as
the,
in like
the rudeness.
yeah, if you had like the audacity to tell the girl like, look, you know, I did all this, we had sex, blah blah blah, and I told you I loved you, but I was like really horny. That happens to guys. Like when you get really really horny, you feel like these like intense emotions for somebody, but then once you relieve yourself, you just get level headed, and you know. It
Fuck you, bitch.
It buffers everything out, and you know what? We're cool and stuff. So like, you don't have to say "fuck you, bitch" straight up, but like, you can say like, "I don't actually feel that way." You know, it's just really, I was in the moment. And then if they're, it depends. Like, I guess when you get older or you just find a bad bitch, like they're just down to fuck and they get it. They're like, okay, you know, whatever. Like, I don't care if you love me or not. But if the girl is under the impression that it's something serious, then I guess you're gonna just have to keep it to yourself that you don't love her. Like,
Keep that shit to yourself.
Keep that shit to
you know,
yourself.
don't bring it up again. Like, oh my god, you told me you love me. I was like, oh yeah, I know. I said
And then the
it.
next time she tells you, and you're like, Okay, you can just fucking keep going.
I know, just like, oh wow,
Oh.
that's nice.
Thanks.
Thanks. And then you can say some bullshit like to buffer it out some more. It's like, I just feel weird about that word, you know, I don't like throwing it out too much. Like some shit like that.
That's kind of fucked up, dude.
Well, because you're trying to save your ass. Because at the end of the day, you want to be a good person and not tell. Because this is like scenario, right? Like you're.
The scenario is just does it count?
No, it doesn't count because it only counts if you do feel it, and you are the only one that knows that. The girl can believe whatever the hell she wants
So I
to
can
believe.
tell like any bitch I want that I love her. As long as I don't feel it, it doesn't count.
I guess it won't count that you love her because it won't matter to her at all. Like, because she's a stranger.
She's under this like infatuation. You know?
She's a stranger. Like, if you tell
Trying
a
to get her to come
stranger
back.
you love her, like, she's not gonna care. She's gonna be like, really? Oh, that's not weird. I don't know you.
No, dude, just gonna fall in love with me real quick.
If you're leading a girl on, right? Like you're with, you know, you're talking to them, and then you're doing all this stuff, and then you are in a situation where like it gets all flirty, and then it moves on to the next phase where you're like getting closer, and you kiss her, and it moves on and moves on, and then you start reaching that point where you're getting too like excited and stuff, and then you blurt it out that you love her after like hanging out with her a few times. Say it's like the third, fourth time you hung out with her.
It only takes 4 times to get Eric to say I love you, dude.
No, I'm not saying me. I'm just saying the scenario. Like,
Okay.
like and then she's kind of a gullible person and is like, oh my god, I'm so immature that I actually think you love me, then I don't know.
It does depend on the person, because what if that's like their first relationship?
Yeah, like that too. Like, you gotta be, I don't know, man.
You gotta be careful when you
Well, then that's why guys have the reputation of being dicks. It's just because they say shit at the wrong time.
That's true, huh?
Or bitches just think they know somebody a certain way and they have this fucking expectation that they build up in their head, and then it's just completely wrong.
That's true. That's true too. Well, you know, you never know a person because you're like flirting with them, so you're trying to give them your best self and like an altered version of yourself too.
That's true.
You never
You
really.
are? I don't think I do. I don't
I
think
mean,
I ever do that.
I feel like
I think at
I feel
one
like
point I
do
try
that
to
for,
make
like,
myself.
everyone. Like, I change myself depending on who I'm talking to.
Well, yeah, that. But especially when you're flirting, at least I'm speaking for myself. Is like I try to make myself seem more interesting because I feel like that's my angle. It always was like, oh, like I'm interesting. Like
You're interesting, Eric?
at least that was my angle.
Gotta
I don't
make
know.
myself look more interesting.
And
I
because you know I don't have I don't have any money. I wouldn't call myself a fucking like model whatsoever. You know, so like make myself more interesting than probably I let them to believe or something. I don't know.
I mean,
gotta find
I guess
your angle.
everyone does a bit of fluff, you know, because
Yeah, you peacock, dude. Like you.
fucking bob your neck. And everything.
Strike your shit.
You peacock a little, so
Check out this flip phone. Check out this razor I got.
not like that though. Never material
Razor.
shit. I knew
Fucking-
that much, but why were you in that situation anytime soon?
Top of my ass, dude. Top of my ass.
Very top. So I went to Denny's the other day,
Mm-hmm.
and it was pretty crowded. And like, no, it was crowded walking out, like the little waiting room. And I bumped into a few people on the way out, and I immediately checked my pockets without realizing.
You got
what I
robbed?
did. No.
Oh shit.
That's just a reaction.
Yeah, it's just like I just do that, and I didn't know why. I just caught myself. I was like, "Why the fuck did I check my pockets?" And I was like, every time I'm in like a situation like that where there's a lot of people around me, I feel like I get pocket picked if I bump into someone.
Pickpocketed?
Same shit.
Pocket picked.
Well, you think that's a bad thing?
Has it
That
ever
you do
happened?
No,
that
I
like
don't
a
think
bad
it's a bad
reaction?
thing. I was just like, why? Why did I do that?
Has it ever happened to you?
Have I ever got like jacked like that? No.
I don't think you should like beat yourself up for it because first
No, I'm
of
not
all,
beating myself up for it.
It's
Like,
just-
why would you even assume that? I'm just saying.
no, because
Why
you're
did
saying
I
you're
do-
questioning why
why
they
did you
do
do
that.
that?
Okay, but I'm not like, oh, why'd you fucking do that? Don't do that anymore. I'm just saying, why, as a like response, did I think that or did I do that?
He
'Cause-
thinks we live in like the year 1500, where it's like super easy to take something out of
Well,
someone's
I wouldn't.
pocket.
Well, I guess
I mean, not even that, because I was wearing like skinny jeans, and I would obviously know if someone took some shit from me.
I only say that because I do the same thing, but I never question it. I just do it as like people that have the nerve to like pickpocket.
They're good.
They're good at it. So they do it when you think you're not noticing or when you're like you're distracted. So
Although
it's,
I don't
it's
think
good to do that just because you're gonna regret not doing it if like you're just trying to.
I mean, I'd be super surprised if it did happen.
Yeah, it'd be
well,
like,
you
but,
everybody
like-
that it happens to, because then that's why they're successful. I'm now you fucking confusing me.
Pickpockets.
Pickpockets, because they're pros at that
Pocket
shit. That's
picks.
Pocket pickers.
pocket pickers.
that's the difficult part, is doing it without the person
Pocket pickers.
noticing. So, and
No,
there's
but you just over here started assuming like you shouldn't beat yourself up for it. Like it was just
I wouldn't
it was
say-
just a fucking question because we don't have anything to talk about, and
Yes, we
it
do.
just fucking happened.
Yes,
I
we
get
Some
it
shit that
after
just
that.
crossed my mind,
Yes,
Yeah.
we
and
do.
I was like, why was that my response?
I just
I just fucking
Maybe-
checked my wallet, keys, phone, everything's there. I'm safe to walk out of this fucking Denny's. And in this segment, the 5 things that Patrick hates today.
that they remember that they think that is true.
okay. So
That we
That
know
is-
for a fact is true.
So if you listened to this podcast last week, you know that we were making fun of Patrick because he hates a bunch of random shit for very random reasons.
Which is not true.
I mean, anyone that knows Patrick in any kind of way knows they have to deal with his hatred for stupid shit.
Which
And
is
it's
not true.
very specific too.
Which is true.
And so every once in a while we might do
Can
this
one be
segment.
true, but the other one not.
Because my hates are very specific, but they are not.
But they're not the
They're
things
not
that we
many.
know that you hate.
They are not many, and they are not the ones that you think and believe to know.
So we'll make a top 5. But I mean, are you prepared? I can name a few right off the top of my head. Of
I
course.
can name at least
You can
5.
name-
5?
name-
Okay, then go for it.
Unordered list. Don't make it a top 5.
Subway.
Combined in 5 or 5
No,
and 5 you?
5 in no specific order. And then
Okay.
if I can think of a few that you can, or you likewise, then we keep going.
Then fucking Subway. That's like
Subway number 1.
number 1.
I don't like Subway because they got rid of the chicken teriyaki one.
That's not what I
Did they?
remember.
They did, or at least at my school. Number 2, at my school, the line is like 60 people deep. 60 people, dude. I swear to God. One day
Yeah,
I
we should
fucking-
let him explain himself.
One day I fucking counted. And I was like, there's fucking 60 people in this fucking line. And I'm like, Subway's not worth that much to just...
It's not worth 60 people being hungry.
It's not worth waiting in a line with 60 people in it just to get Subway.
Are there other, like...
There's other things to eat.
Oh,
There's
okay.
there's Panda Express. There's a really good pizza place. I think it's really good, and I think I know enough about pizza to say if it's good or not.
Maybe it's a bunch of people, like, trying to eat healthy, quote unquote.
And that's another thing. Oh, I'm gonna just try to eat healthy, and it's like a bunch of fat people in the line, and it's like, damn, man, Subway got their fucking
It's
market
guilt-free,
on
dude.
lock.
The guilt-free, I guess.
And another thing I don't like is that you have to pay for half the sandwich, and like when you get like that's cheap, but it's so expensive. It's very expensive for like cold shit, cold stuff. That's
Because it's quote unquote healthy. Like anything that you buy that's supposedly healthy, it's always way more expensive.
I know, but it's not. No, it's healthy, but it's also cold, and you can get it
Doesn't have to be.
Salads
toasted.
are cold.
You can get it. That's a salad. Would you pay? And it's also like
It's like
the
the
meat's,
salad
like,
between
sitting-
bread.
the meat's like sitting out there like all night, all day, like just in the little like ice cream freezer that they have at like liquor stores. It's probably like not even as cold as an ice cream freezer. It's just sitting out. I don't like how it's like right there all the time, just sitting out, and the smell of Subway, all those things put together. Especially like I think I really smell like the onions or something. I smell a lot of the.
It doesn't
vegetables
smell
together.
nice in there.
And Subway has a terrible smell, but
does
I
have a
can't
bad
stand hearing, oh man, I love the smell of Subway.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
like I
yeah,
hear
I
that.
get
And
that.
it's
You
like,
hear that? I've never heard that.
Never heard that
Danny
before.
used to say that every time we went to Subway. I was like, you're fucking stupid.
I
It
love the
smells-
smell
I
of
like
Subway.
the smell of like coffee being in Starbucks.
Yeah, they smell like coffee.
They smell like coffee, and it's one joint. Coffee also kind of smells the same, you know, whether it be sweet. Oh, I smell coffee, but Subway is just so much shit because they have it all sitting out. It's not locked away anywhere. You can just the bread baking, and all the vegetables. Really, you can smell the vegetables really nice, and it's like not nice, but really you can smell it, and it's like, ugh.
Second thing,
Second thing,
posers.
No.
oh yeah.
Posers aren't that.
Yeah.
bad.
So the people that fucking think that they know,
It depends
or
on
that
what
are
they're-
fans of one thing,
Depends
but
on
they
what they're
have to be
posing.
apparently fans of everything about that since the day they were born.
That's not true. It's not true.
That
It's
is
not true.
Or
It's
I
not
think
true.
more
Hold on, hold on.
specifically, I think he hates people that jump on things late and don't do their homework, but assume that they are versed in that specific topic, but haven't done the homework to back it up.
All that but the late part. Like, you can jump on it any time. But, yeah, they pretend to be, or at least come off to be, oh, I know a lot about this, and it's like, no, you don't, and I hate that. That's annoying.
No, you don't.
No,
Let's find out how, because I'm gonna quiz you right
fucking
now.
liar. Especially if it's something I like, because I would love to know another person who likes something I like. But if they don't know shit, well, then I feel robbed. You know, I feel like someone robbed me.
Feel robbed.
But-
yeah, because okay, what if you like? Well, okay, say I
Like
like.
purchase information from this
Any-
person and they
Name
don't know
some
anything?
topics
Any-
like of certain like events that happen. Like like this topic it's happened where I met somebody.
I'm
with
gonna just
like
do an
this.
example. This is a general example that happens often. Okay, I like the Ninja Turtles, and let's say I meet Gerardo for the first time. Oh, I love the Ninja Turtles. It even has like, oh yeah, the Ninja Turtles. They always have like the '80s Ninja Turtle shirts now.
Okay.
And it's really kind of popular to have
The
on.
retro ones?
The retro one, yeah, the '80s ones from the
Mhm.
cartoon show. Just an example. And then I go to Gerardo, and it's like, oh hey, you have that Ninja Turtle shirt on, huh? Oh yeah, I love the Ninja Turtles. And then it's you know, you try to talk about the '80s shirt that they have on. Oh yeah, I remember Rocksteady and Bebop was fucking cool because they were only in that fucking show. And it's like, who the fuck is Rocksteady and Bebop? Like that scenario, like it's always something like that where it's like, dude, you have the shirt
I
on
see.
from that like show, and they were in that show.
So they wave a flag and you like go towards them and try to start a conversation.
I don't go towards them, but,
But like
these
you do
people
it
end up in these.
But do you do it in a snarky way or do you do it like
No, I'm not.
where it's
I'm
like
not
it's
snarky.
like half quiz the way that you ask the question?
No,
like,
because I generally like Rocksteady and Bebop, and like just off the top of my head right now, I'm trying to make up the scenario in which it would happen. Like it would go, you know, I go, oh yeah, Rocksteady and Bebop's pretty cool, right? And it's like, oh, who the fuck is that? And then that's where it goes. Oh, that's where I feel robbed because it's like, man, I thought I was gonna talk to this guy about Rocksteady and Bebop, even if it was like two.
and then it's the
sentences,
worst
you know?
when they say what?
What the fuck is a Rocksteady and what the fuck is a Bebop?
It's
And
a
then you ask them,
Is it
well,
music, dude? That's
Ninja
music.
Turtles, Ninja Turtles I like, and then you.
And then I'll go, well, Rocksteady and Bebop, like you have the shirt, you know, that's the show, and they were in that show quite a lot, you know. You know who Krang is?
And then they say like, oh, I
Krang.
like
Krang, you know.
the movie, and then you'll be like, oh,
And
Yeah.
it's just like, oh, all right. I guess the movie was cool too. We talk about the movie, I'll assume the newest one. Yeah, the movie was cool. You know, I like that part when they were in the elevator. I like the ice part, and that's about it.
can't
But
they just like the shirt?
if they honestly say, you know, really, I just kind of like this shirt, really, and it's cool. But no one ever says that shit. I think I might have met like few people who said, I just generally like this shirt.
I know a lot of times that I see someone with the shirt that I would like comment on or something. They'd just be like, and if they didn't know anything about it, they're just like, oh, it was a gift or something.
Yeah, that's never happened to me. Gifts. I never got the
So-
gift excuse.
So you straight up ask a question because I think in that sense,
It's not a question. It's more of a statement. Like, oh man, Rocksteady. You know, like
Oh.
I never go.
I
Like,
approach those people
I
by
never
saying
go
like,
like,
oh, cool
oh,
shirt.
what's a technodrome? You know. You know what Shredder's voice actor is? You know, I never do that with my.
Oh, it's
lucky-
his first
my-
appearance.
My fists on my hips. You know.
You know, maybe
That-
next time
that
save
pisses
yourself
me
the
off.
trouble and just say like, hey, cool shirt, and they'll be like, oh, you like this, and then that'll be the
No,
entrance.
but then that means I'm this person's friend and this faker person's friend.
All right, number 3. Patrick hates movies for some reason, but he
Doesn't
is
hate
going
movies.
to school for film.
Could you get that pencil off my DVD? I mean,
Patrick
Blu-ray,
hates
please?
pencils.
Hey, that's so funny. I never thought about that.
Yeah, see, right.
But he hates movies except when he doesn't. And
I coined that.
He's very selective about
And,
his
like-
movies. Very specific, like we said in the beginning.
but he'll generalize saying that he doesn't watch movies. I don't watch movies.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then,
yeah. I do say that. I don't really watch movies. Like, if I do watch a movie, if I go to the movie theaters, it's more than likely because someone wants to go and I happen to get invited. More than often, there are a couple movies I wanted to see. I think the last movie I wanted to see recently was the Evil Dead movie and the new Planet of the Apes movie, and that's only because I know my mom wants to see it. But I generally want to see that too because I like the Planet of the Apes series.
yeah, that's good.
I want to go see both of those movies in theaters.
The second
Yeah.
one I didn't like. But
The Evil Dead I didn't like.
I love the Evil Dead, dude. I love that remake was perfect in my eyes. Dude.
Really?
Yeah, even though it was. I feel that was a good idea of what a remake should be, where it has enough of the old story and enough new elements to keep you going. Oh shit, this is new, but it's still like it satisfies your old like. Oh man, that's what happened there, and they build off of it like how you kind of expect the guy to reprise the role as Ash.
Mm-hmm.
The whole time because that's like, oh, you've seen that movie. It gives me as someone who's seen the old movie to feel good about that. But then at the end where it's like twist, nope, played a trick on you, motherfucker, and it's like, oh, that's tight. You know, it's the girl because I feel like and it's enough new for it to go. Oh, they didn't just remake the movie. They literally
Didn't they have
remade
like
it, you know?
a thing at the end of the credits or something where Ash showed up?
Really? I didn't see that shit. I would love to see that.
Yeah, I think you could probably like YouTube it later.
Yeah, definitely.
But,
I love that. I thought for me right now, and my 22-year-old self in 2015 so far, that's one of my top. Like,
I know I
remakes.
definitely saw it though. Like it was really short. It was just like I think it was dark, and then it showed his face like in the dim light, and then he said something like one of his quotes
I'm
from
back,
the movies.
baby.
Probably something like that, or I forgot what it was, but it was really cool, and I kind of got excited for it.
And I'm in a program not specifically for film but for TV, and I want to do
Jesus.
something with like
Filmed.
cartoons and stuff like that. You know, I want to be like on Cartoon Network or whatever, because I feel like, but I don't want to draw or anything, you know. But I do want to
You
learn how to
direct
do
it?
like, yeah, you know, I pretty much want to create something that I know I like, because I know my tastes are super specific, and you know, if you don't like something, you change it. You know, you change yourself, and I feel like I take that philosophy as far as like where I'm going as far as schooling, and as far as what he said about what I hate about movies. I just generally don't like a lot of movies because they're always like really. I don't want to use the word cheesy because I like a lot of cheesy shit like The Evil Dead, but I just feel like it's always like it's really generalized and it's a really big money industry, you know. And it's like I feel like all these movies that are coming out, they're really just mostly for the money, and I don't really like things when they're like when I feel not if it's true or not, when I feel that it's just for like a profit, you know. Even though I mean, one day I might have to do something for profit. But I feel like I hate feeling like I'm watching something for profit, you know, like
Dude, if it's something like I like the Avengers or all these comic book movies, they could take all my money. I'll watch them all.
These feel
I feel like that
moneymakers,
I
though.
feel like that for Spider-Man. I like no matter how bad the fucking Spider-Man movie is, I think I'll always pay for Spider-Man shit unless it starts getting
You think
too
this Avengers movie is all for the money?
I feel.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah, I mean, there's no
it's
story quality in it.
Yeah, it's
What
writing.
do you
It's,
mean? It's been building up for like 4 other movies before this one.
and it does that because
all those
they
movies.
work. They make money. It's writing a fad. It's like riding the wave of the fad. It's like, all right, we're like superhero movies specifically, because comic book movies are here.
Have been done before.
Yeah, they're here to stay. Like, there's a lot of movies that we just don't know they're comic book origins.
like Blade. I didn't know that was a
like
movie.
or
Wait,
like
let me go
Two
back.
Guns or whatever,
remember
like
Blade
stuff
was a
like
movie.
that.
I remember a couple of podcasts ago we were talking about source material and how like the movie is different. It was last podcast how the movie is different from the actual like story.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking the only thing that's a very good example of how a movie is really good and not taking anything from the story or at least changing it so much was The Mask. Because The Mask was deep and dark as fuck. It was so fucking like it was bad,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
you know, you watch the movie and it's like, damn, this is completely different. It was like
Oh,
watching
yeah.
Saturday cartoons and stuff, but it
They
worked. You know?
sprinkled it in sugar.
Yeah, total like it was.
Which they did
Dipped in
turn it
sugar.
into a Saturday morning cartoon.
Yeah, and they
Yeah,
did, yeah, and like, but I feel like I remember last time we were talking about like Dragon Ball Z and Avatar and how those movies kind of sucked and they went totally away from what was like.
Oh yeah, how can you? Because the question was, can you get mad at people that stray
Yeah,
from?
yeah, and as a
source
rebuttal
material.
to like because I feel like when I think about arguments, I like to think about. Or at least I remember learning this when I was writing papers. If you like, oh, you say you agree about this, you want to like bring up things that are like rebuttals to like your side of the argument and try to counteract it. So that's where I was like, I think is there any movies that like worked? And I was like, The Mask worked, and I really like The Mask.
But didn't you see the movie before you even read the book?
Yeah,
That's true.
That's
If it would have
true,
been the
but
other way around, it might have been a
it
different story.
might have been, yeah, maybe.
Because it's so different, and it's so, yeah, it's I want to say better, but
And
it's
you
just
know
Yeah,
what
that's
else?
why I think I enjoyed the last Airbender movie. Like, because I had nothing to back up on that. I had nothing to cross reference.
And one
And
more,
I thought it was okay.
yeah, and one more is Wanted. I remember you let me borrow Wanted.
I haven't.
He let
He
me.
has it.
Eric, yeah, Eric let me borrow.
No,
Someone
no,
let
no,
me
He
borrow.
let you borrow it for sure. 'Cause
Yeah,
I
it
haven't
was
even
you.
read
Yeah, it was you.
Because
It
I haven't
was-
even read it. I own it, but I haven't read it.
Gerardo let me borrow Wanted, and the first fucking 3 pages was like, "What the fuck? This is not like the movie at all." And that's
Yeah, it
when
wasn't.
That's one I had to put down because it was so different from the movie, and I was like, I like the movie. I just kind of. That's where I went. I kind of strayed away from that series. I don't even want to. If they even made a Wanted 2, or I just be like, whatever. I guess we'll watch it if it was on TV. I guess, even though I like the movie, but now I feel like I can't go. If I look at it, a movie's good, but it's like, I feel like I know it's not. You know, even though because the movie's good if it was just the movie, but
The 300 movie was way better than the book, though. The book was garbage compared to the movie.
and that's what Eric says about like even the creator of Fight Club thinks the movie is better.
Oh
than-
yeah. He
Yeah.
thinks the movie's better than.
And like that definitely works both ways. Where something that came second can be better, but and where something that came first can be super different. And you know, it depends. It's from movie to movie, from thing to thing. Like where Mask is a good example, but for me, Wanted isn't a good example. You know. All right, next thing that I hate.
Number 4.
Can't think of anything else. I mean, like, I'm sure I.
Because I don't hate many things.
Patrick hates bottled water.
Oh my god, yeah, that's right. It's so true. He's such a good memory. He's under the impression
Well, let me
that
say
all water believes this. All water tastes exactly the same.
Well, let me say my shit.
All right.
And bottled water specifically comes from the dying tears of babies in hell. That
No,
and
hold on,
then I
we're
should
not
never
supposed to purchase.
And then should purchase it because tap water tastes exactly the same.
Hold up.
And it's not worth
Hold
buying.
up.
And by
Hold on.
buying this, we're advertising to kill more babies to drink their tears.
Hey, remember that PDF?
He's loving this. He's like smiling over there.
that JPEG that you sent me that it was like, what was on there? It was like, water comes from God, and if it rains down into our
Oh, and it was like a long list. Of
Yeah.
shit, and when you got to the bottom,
it said, okay, this is what it was.
it was spring water.
Yeah, spring water. It rains down and it runs through the canals and it comes out in our faucets, because that's where it comes from the heavens. But mineral water comes from the fucking ground.
Yeah,
where fucking hell is.
bottled spring water comes from the ground,
From hell.
from hell,
From hell.
tortured victims in their tears and sweat.
It was so fucking funny.
But it tastes the same according to Patrick.
Hold on, that's not.
It's
Hold
the
up.
same.
Hold up. For me, until I met Gerardo, and I remember specifically when we were in community college together. I remember he was like, a Burger King burger tastes different from a McDonald's burger or whatever the fuck. The burgers taste
Oh,
We
different.
that's
did get
another
into that
thing.
argument.
And then I was like, to me, a burger is a burger. A burger is a burger is a burger. And we had this whole thing where it was like this, and that, taste. And I guess at the end of the conversation, I realized about myself, I don't give a fuck about slight differences. Their tomatoes are a little bit fresher. To me, a tomato's bad if a tomato's bad, but, I'm not going to knock the whole entire franchise off. But now, since that day, I'm thinking about stuff, and, I think I don't like Burger King. Because I do think their burgers are really fucking sweaty. And I know I've said that before we had that conversation, but now I'm like, I guess their burgers do taste different. And one day I was really starving and I went to In-N-Out and I was like, damn, this is the best burger I ever had. But when it comes to water, I don't like bottled water because it costs a lot. Water for that amount, what is that, 8 ounces, 16 ounces?
Mm-hmm.
And that's charging you $1. That's what I don't like about bottled water.
They fuck you though, because if you buy the big pack, you can buy for $3. You can get a 24 pack.
I know, and
which
even
is
that,
clearly a ripoff. Buying it for
That's a
$1.
rebuttal.
Oh yeah, buying it for $1 is a ripoff. That's quick and
absolutely.
easy. Oh shit, I'm thirsty.
I think
That-
everybody knows
Those, yeah, they know and they buy it still because
They're
people
thirsty.
pay for convenience. That it's in some fucking refrigerated store where you just pick it up and start drinking it right away.
And that's where my basis for bottled water happens, for taste and everything. Because if I feel that money is, at least for me, money is super important, and I don't think I should be wasting it on anything that I feel shouldn't be wasted on. And when it comes to taste, I'm like, well, couldn't you just take tap water and boil it? They have filters, all types of things to make this shit taste better, and then you can save your fucking money. You can buy refillable water bottles and all this shit. But people insist that because you have to pay for it, this water must be better. You don't need water from the fucking mountains of Fiji or from.
I never
That's
heard
true.
that.
Like-
I never heard thinking just because you pay for it or it
Yeah,
costs
that
more
was
that it
my
tastes better.
thing. That whole essay I did in class, it was about money. Remember when we had to
what this
present
is.
that?
There's clearly better water though.
There's clearly better water, but I'm saying that you can make tap water. You can boil it.
Oh, are you talking
yourself.
about Fiji water and Smart Water and all that? other
Yeah,
shit?
and Voss. You don't have to pay. It's just fucking water. Of course, it's
But there is different tastes.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I said the thing about the burger before. I'm realizing that people have different tastes. Maybe they're different for me. For me, it's just water's water. If I'm thirsty, I'm gonna fucking drink the water, even if it has to be tap water. But I do understand that people have very specific tastes where they can't fucking drink Arrowhead water. Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Arrowhead tastes like garbage.
And
dude.
I've sincerely went, let me just drink this shit, and I don't fucking give a fuck. I'm drinking it. It's whatever. Okay.
Have you had a bottle of I don't know what's an okay bottle of water,
Smart Water's
Dasani or
good.
something?
Or
Dasani's
Fiji's
just
good.
Yeah.
soda water. That's just tap water too, right? That's purified tap water.
Whatever, it's purified. You don't fucking taste the
You
fucking
can
iron in the
purify
fucking.
your own tap water.
Okay, but I'm not gonna get a bottle of Arrowhead and then purify it and then put it back in the fucking bottle so I could take it on my
I guess
merry
I'm
way
trying
to
to
drink
relate it.
anywhere.
I'm relating it back to just tap water. I know Arrowhead tastes nasty. If you think it tastes nasty, I'll agree. I'll agree that it tastes nasty. But I'm saying that Dasani People can buy this sign and go, "Oh, this shit's fucking good." It's in
That
the
was just an
bottle."
example because it's the only fucking bottled water I could think of at the time. He said smart water. Does he smart water then?
Okay.
The
Fucking-
only one that I don't know too much about right now is alkaline water, and that water.
I have a battery in it. What the fuck?
No, alkaline water. This is how when I agree with you because Harriet went. She works at Santa Monica and like all these like places that everyone tries to be super healthy and shit like that. In any case, there's an alkaline water place, and they're not claiming to be. Maybe they do claim to be a little better. The pH level in the water is higher, which means that it's better for you. I mean, although
that,
drinking
like,
water is good for
More
you,
acidic or
less acidic or some shit like that.
When we learn that shit.
Somehow it's better for you. And
Actually, it's better if it is acidic, more acidic.
yeah, or something like that. In any case, you
Like
drink the
drinking
water,
water.
it literally tastes like you're drinking air. It doesn't taste like anything. It's just the most purified feeling you've ever drank.
Yeah, water's not supposed to taste like anything.
It doesn't taste like jack. And I'm like, wow. And I didn't believe her. And then I drank it. And I was like, I had to fucking eat my own words because it was like seriously good. And I was like, I can see. But then I had your argument. I was like, because it tastes better and it's just slightly a little bit more expensive, like in cents we're talking, like a few 50 cents or something like that. I don't think it's that big of a deal for me to try harder to get that water when I'm perfectly fine with buying Ralph's water or Kroger water, and I'm cool with that.
Kroger, dude, they're in everything.
But
Yeah, I
yeah,
don't think I would do that. I don't think there's anything that I would do that for. I
And
wouldn't go out of my way to get something that I really liked that was more expensive, that wasn't like something I could pick up at a random store.
And this is where my hate started blending together, because that's what I said about Subway. There's no way that I feel you should wait in a 60 people line for Subway. No matter how good it is, it's just not
you shouldn't wait for
that.
anything for 60
Yeah,
fucking people.
I don't think I've ever gone. I've never
Yeah.
gone to any Subway that had 60 people.
It's like I'm fucking out the door.
I've never
Around-
seen
around
that.
the corner.
I've never seen that till I got to the school, dude. And I'm like, man,
That's
this
probably
is just...
your school because
It
there's a
has to be my
shitload
school.
of people at that school.
Yeah, and it's like, with other options, they still choose to wait in this line that's this long at lunch. And I'm like, it's not fucking worth it.
It just might be that the thing, the marketing of
The
like
marketing
that,
thing, and
that's
that's-
like
I don't-
Or it might be
subconsciously.
cheaper.
And-
Is it cheaper?
That's true
That's
too.
what...
That's
It's...
true.
No, we're at fucking school. Everything's expensive, and that's where it goes back to the movie hate, where it's
I
like
know,
for
it's
money.
not
I don't
anymore.
like things that are like really big businessy, and I feel like I'd be getting fucked personally. Like when I buy a bottle of water, I feel like I'm getting fucked. When I see a bunch of people getting Subway, they're getting fucked. When you go see a big budget movie that has no quality, it's just all flashy, gimmicky, and like a bunch of fucking CGI. I feel like you're not getting your money's worth. You know, movies used to be good
You're getting your money's
You're
worth
not
if you
getting-
like it, I think.
I
if you like it, but I mean, like, you can like better things. I mean, you can like
That's
anything.
your opinion.
You can like anything. Anyone can like the smallest little bit. It can be like one joke that makes me like a movie sometimes. It's like, man, this whole movie sucked, but that thing was fucking funny. I'll give it that. But this for certain movies,
It's fun, but I guess that's everybody. I was just want to say this because the entire time when you're saying that, I was like, wow, like he comes off almost. I want to say judgmental because he feels like he has sophisticated taste in certain things, but then he'll eat anything or he'll do any. So I feel, but then there's like areas where like that. So like I feel like I have sophisticated taste for certain things and can tell the difference between something that's genuinely like more sophisticated and other shit where it's just like, oh, they just put that shit together to get money. But then in other things, I don't give a fuck, and I'm just like, oh, I'll just go for the cheapest shit ever.
yeah, and it's like, you know, it's always pick and choose. It's always different. Depends on what it is. Like, I can't relate an Avengers movie to a bottle of water, obviously. Like, I have to like see where I stand on everything when it comes to money. And a lot of my hates do. I think they like whatever you list after this, it might involve money, except for like the Teenage Mutant Turtle like fucking thing. But that even stems out of money. You know, they went and saw the fucking Ninja Turtle movie, and now they have this fucking shirt on because they bought it at Target, who sells the fucking shirt.
For the fifth thing, but it's not even that big of a deal. The way that you just hate divulging information, you have a weird fucking thing about information that certain people can know certain things and other people can't know other things. But they're weird in the way that you
It
decide.
reminds me of another thing.
The way that you
Patrick
decide
does.
who knows what and how they know it and when they know it is like the weirdest, most like most complaining, complicated
just-
fucking thing.
I just don't like being an open book. You
But
know, I would
like
to
you
keep-
you like pick and choose who knows what, and the
Because-
information isn't that big of a
because
deal.
everyone's different, and I know everyone
And
handles
those people
it.
aren't allowed to cross-reference their
Yeah,
information.
exactly. It's like weird shit.
a
There's
little
like
bit more.
weird
Because
math
that's how,
problem.
That's how
of,
gossip
like,
starts. I don't really like gossiping, and like
No.
I only tell things to people who absolutely.
Patrick,
need
you have
it.
like a whole other group of friends that he has like completely different stories with but we can't ever know them because
Yeah,
then we cross-reference
because
information.
it's none of our business, or like we don't need to know this. Or,
I've
you
tried
know,
to make him come to see other friends, but they weren't there that day. Remember we went to LACC?
Yeah.
Yeah.
dude, man, mingling old friends with new friends is the weirdest shit. It's like,
I wouldn't feel it's weird. I feel like these friends
It's
were.
I think there was like a BuzzFeed video about that, or I don't know if it was BuzzFeed, but it was a video like what they do.
I'll tell you this: what I said earlier. Like, there's good reasoning for things, and in this situation where I wanted Gerardo to meet these guys, I felt it would be good, because like I wouldn't just do
Except
it out
that
of
guy was starting to act like an asshole.
He didn't come that day, and I thought that was pretty shitty.
It wasn't that he didn't come, because it was like whatever if he didn't come, but he was saying that he was on his way, and then he was
yeah.
like,
And
oh,
he
I'm
wasn't.
not on
He
my
wasn't.
way.
He wasn't there the entire time, and that was really really shitty, and that made me feel really bad.
what a dick.
Yeah, but you know, if that didn't happen, I felt like these people would have gotten along really well. And if it didn't, then they didn't. But you know, it wasn't going to be, oh, you know, I'm going to go here and I'm going to boom surprise these people. But unless it was someone I didn't care about, you know, then you know if they're just like their bystander, you know, you're not going to see them. And that's what I do for information. It's like, if you don't need to know, you don't need to know it. You know. Right. And what was the sixth thing that you were going to say, like related?
Oh, anything you make or like your art or
Oh yeah.
other shit, you hate putting that shit on like where anyone can see it, and
For the
so many people are allowed to see it. Like if you have like a fucking sketchbook, no, don't fucking look at it like it's your fucking what's it called, journal.
Well, this stuff,
Oh,
a
yeah.
sketchbook can be called like a journal. I don't really see mine as a journal, but it still has the same kind of like, it can be beautiful. But for my art, I feel like the same approach I take for movies. Like, I don't feel like, I'm not trying to like woo people on my art, you know? Like, I don't care if someone like goes, oh, that's nice, you know? I don't seek like that like number respect or, oh, you know, that like little digital confirmation. I don't seek that at all, dude. Like, and
I don't think it's like that either, because when I do it just because I know I like it, and I just kind of want to like either share that set with other people, or kind of somewhere like, I know what you said, I don't know when you said it, that it's shit that you shared to remind yourself of it, or you post it on your wall so you can look back at it, something like that. Or I know that I fucking made that, or if I lose the paper, it's just it's somewhere.
Yeah, I guess I was gonna say, I guess if you're like, you don't keep up with, but I know I keep up with a lot of my stuff. I know exactly where I can find any like piece of art that I made, and so I keep it like, you know, where I can see it, because I feel like it's for me.
I think the only time I don't like posting anything that I make online is when people ask me to do shit for them.
Yeah.
Because I hate doing that shit.
Those are actually the ones I will post online, because those are like, I have no like personal attachment to it. Like, I didn't make this for myself. Like, I made it for someone else, so I don't mind if someone else looks at it, because that's what it's for. Like, I have a ton of stuff that I made for other people on like my Facebook, because you know, it's for other people, it's for them, you know. But if it's like something I did, like, you know, just out of like practice, or like something I was like, oh man, I really want to try this, and like I did it successfully, then I don't really share it, unless it's like, because it's like, I did it, yay, next thing, you know.
It brings me to YouTube, and by extension what you're talking about sharing content, and how YouTube, obviously we all know it's like a niche, it's for niche communities, right? Like, you like something super specific, and then there's a community around that very specific thing you like. Do you feel like you are having a full experience where this whole, you know how they pitch the idea of like communities and people living on the internet? Do you feel as a spectator you're getting the full experience?
On the internet, a spectator is called a lurker. And lurking is a big part of the internet. There's so many lurkers there. And
You have to have those because they're the people that consume the content. But if you're...
Can't have all Chiefs, gotta have some Indians.
So the Chiefs aren't Indians?
You get it, dude.
But it doesn't make sense.
But when you...
The Chiefs, the Indians aren't Chiefs.
But then there's also... I guess there's a layer... I guess maybe... Well, there's layers, because I want to. There's like the people that produce the content, right? But then there's the people that engage with the content, like the one that they engage with the creator. For instance, like let's say we had a bunch of
So
listeners.
your question is, do you get the full experience if you don't engage?
If you don't engage, if you're just constantly just hovering over the.
I feel
internet.
like
lurking is probably mostly the experience.
Yeah,
like there's probably more people lurking
like
than people engaging.
There's it's like a spectrum, I guess, or like a fucking pond where it's like it's this big, but you're only in that like one little fucking corner, and you fucking.
But it influences the rest of the pond, you know?
Yeah.
Like a ripple. If you throw one rock in one spot, you'll hit it all. But you know, the other parts of the pond obviously weren't hit, but they got affected. You see how like more
Do
often.
you feel like, but they're not getting the full? In my opinion, I want to say that they're not getting the full experience because how much better would it be if they actually engage? They would make the
How much
podcast
better
so
would
much
it be
better.
for you? But for them, they're probably just content with just watching or just being the lurkers that
Yeah, a lot of people like,
They wouldn't
are
make
content with lurking. Dude.
I would feel like it would make the podcast better because they can shape it, in
definitely
the
would.
way that
would.
they
There's
want.
a lot of
Definitely
things that
would.
would make anything better if anybody would just walk down the street and pick up like a piece of trash that they know they didn't throw, but just it would fucking better the community. But you know they're not going to. They're just gonna keep fucking walking, and that's just what this is.
Yeah, and like I feel like I don't really care. Like there was so much like it's just the forum. If you guys know what Gaia is, it's a super cool website. But GAIA online.com. And and it's just forums and stuff, and like I would put a bunch of forums on there, and like you know, you get used to people not talking to your shit, you know, and then
But what I liked about Gaia was that
You were
you
anonymous,
were
though.
you were anonymous and you were rewarded for commenting on people's things. So you wanted to do it. You wanted to be interactive and you wanted to talk to people, no matter if it was just the dumbest shit that you would say. That would spark a different conversation and it would totally negate whatever the first topic was.
I love doing that.
And that's what since Facebook has started, I always hated the like button. I've always fucking hated it. Like, it makes sense on like YouTube videos and stuff. But when you're conversating with people, and it's like how he said, it would like make me happy when I would post something, and then someone would comment on it. Someone would comment on it, and then I want to talk to them about it because they obviously went through the time to read my shit and comment on it. They had their own thought about it, and I would comment on it, and all they would do was like my
Because that's
shit.
what you had to do to let someone know that you saw it. But now people can just like, and that's it. Like it's not even like it's easy to like feel like kind of useless. Like you're like, oh damn, I put all my work into this, and all I got was that gay ass number. But other people fucking live for that number, you know. I'm just not one of them.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't satisfy me. It doesn't do anything for me.
So I had this idea since we're on our 11th episode. I just figured maybe we should try to do something to get more listeners, and then I thought about doing a commercial. So I try to think about what is it that you would get from listening to us, and then the only thing I can think of is like and this was the thing, I was like, let our opinions be your opinions. Let the Tables podcast make you smarter. We like use a few examples of like certain opinions, and then we cut away to like the person listening to us, and then using that opinion in an argument, and then like they win the argument or something like that, but doing it in a funny way. So and the whole thing is like let the Tables podcast make you smarter, let our opinions be your opinions.
Kind of like, don't know how to woo your girlfriend? Let the Tables podcast help you
or
out.
something like that. Like use our lines or use something, just borrow from us.
Want to be
and
original
then-
in your proposal to marry? Take our ideas.
And then we shoot it and make it a kind of a commercial, and then short and sweet and funny, for just to promote the podcast in a different way.
We're advertising?
I guess technically that's what it is. I'm not opposed to it. Promoting stuff is good, I think. Well,
Unless you just want to make a video and
no.
that's the name of it
Well,
that
of
you
course.
wanna use.
Well, the aim is to get more listeners.
we could do like we could be like Loveline.
So to make it do like a false advertisement, but it's funny because we're like a dating thing. But then obviously we're not. The whole thing is
Talk
like
about the Hulk and shit. Your girlfriend.
be like the Hulk and smash.
You want to be like the Hulk and smash? Take tips from the tables.
yeah.
The table tips.
And then there's like ninjas. All right, we're doing this here. Ninjas come out and then and they're all like subu 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 subu.
We could do stuff like that. I mean, really, anything at this point is possible, and I'm totally like down. I just we could do it. Like we could try to work that ninja thing in some. I don't know, like us trying to crawl through the window or something.
It just like happens at the end right before it fucking cuts out. I'm just walking by.
I know.
This sounds a lot like my idea that I had forever ago, but we just never did.
Maybe
I told Patrick we should make scripts and like make our own, not videos, but it's commercial. Are you talking about videos?
He's talking
Or
about
you
videos.
talking
I'll
about
make a video.
Okay.
No, your idea is totally completely separate. Like yours was like pretending like we were sponsored by people,
We can totally do that.
but it wouldn't
too.
be video though, right?
It wouldn't be video, it would be on
say
here.
it. Yeah, that totally.
Then we could do
different.
both of those things.
All right, let's go.
All right, that was a podcast with a lot of the shit that I hate. Hope you enjoyed it.
All right, later.
You don't
Say
have
the
to
tag,
stand
Adam.
up, but you can't sit here. You don't have to stand up, but you can't sit here.
Peace. Peace. Peace.